As a real estate agent or a broker, you've likely at least had the thought or maybe a full-on conversation, maybe even a debate around, does Zillow compete with you or directly against you? It's a really hot topic in the real estate community, and that's exactly what I'm diving deeper into this video. But in order to dive deeper into it, we're gonna hop over to my computer screen, so let's do that right now. Now, if you're new to this channel, my name is Mike Banks and I've been in the real estate industry for just over 11 years now. And on this channel, we talk about the two things that are really gonna push that needle in your real estate business, and that is marketing and sales, how to attract more prospects, convert those prospects, and ultimately earn more commission. So if you're into that kind of content and those kinds of things, consider subscribing to this channel. Now, quick small disclaimer before we get started. This video is not at all meant to slander Zillow or their business model or the services or anything like that. I know some teams and brokers and agents that are doing fantastic with Zillow and some that are not so much. All this is meant to do is just, if you're considering using their lead generation services or advertising services, or you are currently using them, just meant to inform you as a consumer so that you can make a more educated decision. Now, we're gonna jump onto Zillow.com here right now because I wanna show you just through the eyes of what a consumer, and what I mean by consumer is a buyer or seller, what they see when they go to Zillow.com. Because if you're using Zillow for advertising or for lead generation services for your business, essentially Zillow is kind of representing your business, right? Because Zillow is the first stop. That's the first thing they see before they ultimately end up talking to you. So you want to take off those real estate agent biased glasses for a moment and just put on the ones and try to see it through the lens of a buyer or a seller. And again, just make an informed decision. I'll let you decide if you think that Zillow is competing with and against you. We'll just show you here right now. So on Zillow.com, okay, first thing you see, nice clean site. Let's go to a really hot, popular market like Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, so again, this is what a consumer, when they come to Zillow.com, this is what they're seeing and this is the experience that they're having. So we're gonna say we're looking for sale. Now the first thing, and this is a big one, is right away, what do we see right here? Okay, owned by Zillow. Owned by Zillow. This looks like this, yeah, it's an ad loading. Owned by Zillow. 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 And then we start to see, okay, actual brokerages like Realty Executives, Crane Real Estate, and so, another owned by Zillow, Keller Williams. This isn't like conspiracy theory or anything like that, but think about this for a moment. Zillow.com, okay, Zillow owns this website. They own the control over the design, placement, everything that's going on this website, the user interface, all that kind of stuff. Now, certainly, I haven't filtered anything down yet, but this, you know, if somebody was just to look in the Phoenix, Arizona market, this is what they're immediately presented with. So all you see is Zillow, 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 like everything's Zillow, right? And the thing to consider too is, if Zillow owns this website and they own the whole experience, they probably own the placement of these listings, don't you think? So it's kind of curious that immediately when you come to their website and you search a market such as Phoenix, you see right away owned by Zillow, owned by Zillow. Now, I don't know if this is by accident or if this is by design. Again, it's just awfully suspicious, right? Because what's coming up right away are Zillow's own listings. Not yours, theirs, right? And again, you can only assume that because they own the website and they own the experience and the design and the placement and everything, that they are likely, probably going to put their own listings ahead of yours, right? Because they have an invested interest in these listings. So let's click now into one of these listings and again, just get the full experience of what a consumer coming to the Zillow.com website would see. So if we go into this listing here, now right away they make it pretty easy and convenient for the consumer to start an offer, right? They're gonna buy this property, okay? So down here, right here, this part, contact agent, I'm gonna actually come out of this listing and go into another one because I'll talk about this here. Let's actually do that right now. So let's go into an actual listing with an actual brokerage. Let's go down to, where did I see that one? Okay, this Realty Executives one. Let's go into this one. So what you would do if you were interested, if you were a consumer and you were interested in this property, right away you're presented, this is called the call to action, you're presented with this button, contact agent. So you would likely do this. So let's see what a consumer sees at this point. So contact agent. Now, look what immediately happens here, okay? Very generic form, just says literally contact agent, name, phone, email, and then this quick message. So this would be sent to whatever real estate agent was paying for the zip code, so buying leads from Zillow, they would get sent this message. But what I'm trying to point out here is nothing here really represents the actual listing agent of this property or who's going to be contacting or anything like that unless you read this fine print down here. By pressing contact agent, you agree that Zillow Group and its affiliates and real estate professionals may call, text you about your inquiry, which may involve use of automated means preferred, blah, blah, blah. So that's another important note here, right? Is right away, by pressing contact agent, you agree that Zillow Group and its affiliates and real estate. So you're basically coming last. Zillow is basically saying someone from our team is going to contact you, which they do because, again, with Zillow owning the website, they own the whole experience, the whole process. Zillow is getting this information as well. So back to the, those Zillow-owned properties. Well, how do you think that that's happening, right? Zillow is talking to some of these leads first and then passing them off to you. So they can kind of pre-qualify themselves and maybe see if they can service this lead first. So again, just pointing out, make your own judgments here, but the real estate professional, you, ultimately the person who's buying the lead, you're not being represented very well here. I mean, like I said, with this form, it's very generic. It's pretty clear that somebody from Zillow and its affiliates, and then maybe a real estate professional is going to contact you. So just food for thought. So if we click out of here, and actually, by the way, before I do that, so if you were to enter your name, phone, email, this is exactly how a lead, so for somebody who's buying this zip code, this is how a lead is then sent to you, whoever's buying this zip code, or right to the zip code. And this could be multiple agents doing that, right? So actually, if you pop up right here, put a link up here, I did a separate video on just what a Zillow ad is specifically. So I'll go into more detail on that in that video up here. So I want to click out of this, back on this generic listing. So this part right here, love this home, sell your current home to Zillow and close on your schedule. So they have another call to action here. Let's just throw in a zip code, good old 90210. Check eligibility. So again, we're going through the process of what consumers are experiencing on their website. So let's go through this process, see what comes up. So Zillow offers, they're obviously getting you to fill out all your information because they're going to contact you about buying your home. Let's just get out of there. And we end up on this page, which is a very interesting little page because it's all about selling to Zillow and what that process looks like. So again, they have a call to action here. They're trying to grab your home address if you were potentially selling your home, and they're going to follow up with you and go through that whole process. But this part right here, we're going to click into this video because this video is very interesting to watch. So let's open this up.
Selling a home is time-consuming and expensive. Full of open houses and appointments.
Open houses are the worst.
Lots and lots of prepping and countless trips to the hardware store. On average, it takes over 2 months to sell a home in the U.S.
With an agent, of course,
That doesn't always work if you're trying to move quickly or can't keep your home clean for showings.
I think we've seen enough. So that video is pretty interesting, isn't it? They're kind of taking some jabs at real estate agents, right? Let's just pop it open really quick. What did they say at the start?
Selling a home is time-consuming and expensive.
Selling a home is time-consuming and expensive. So that is a total jab at a real estate agent, right? And they're even showing this guy looks like a real estate agent, doesn't he? And that's probably his client, and these are probably the homeowners. So for sale sign there, they're totally taking a jab at you guys, the real estate agents here. And then what's the next part?
Full of open houses and appointments.
Full of open houses and appointments. Gosh, that's just terrible, right? So again, they're taking those jabs at what selling a home traditionally with a real estate agent looks like. So again, guys, make your own decision, but this is what the consumers are seeing when they're on Zillow. And when a consumer ultimately ends up talking to you, the real estate agent, all of this stuff they've been going through. In marketing, we call this framing or pre-framing. So essentially you're setting the stage for what someone is to think about your brand or your service or your offer or about you before they end up ultimately talking to you or buying your product or your service or your offer or potentially working with you. So all this framing and pre-framing, these are all things that the consumer, the general consumer is experiencing before they ultimately talk to you if you're buying leads from Zillow. So how do you think that potential lead or prospect is being framed or pre-framed by the time they talk to you? You're not being painted in a very good light, are you? Because these are all the things that are going on. So let's just scroll down here, because again, on this page, why sell the Zillow? They break some more stuff down. So getting paid with no surprises, skip the home prep. Again, they're just taking, all these jabs at real estate agents. They even break it down here. So the cost of selling comparison. So here's Zillow and here's traditional sale. Well, traditional sale is you, right? The real estate agent. So they're showing Zillow 0 days on market. With you, on average 76 days on market. With Zillow, choose your date whenever you want. With you, the traditional sale, negotiate with buyers. Repair costs included with the offer. So they're even going to take care of all the repairs and expenses there. Using a real estate agent, someone like you, the consumer is out of pocket. And then they even break down the costs. So costs are fairly similar. They have this part here, the service charge, and then it's blank in this. So basically, it's pretty obvious. Again, you make your own decision, but it's pretty apparent that Zillow is essentially competing with you and against you for the business of the consumers who are ultimately looking to buy or sell their home. Zillow is kind of positioning themselves as, those we buy houses or we buy ugly house type wholesaler situations where people just, hey, I'll buy your house tomorrow for cash. No problems, whatever as is, where is, it doesn't matter. Zillow is kind of positioning themselves in sort of the same way. So what if you could generate leads for your business where you weren't competing against someone like Zillow, this behemoth of a company, and you were generating them in your own branding, your own name, there was no contracts, there was no monthly fees or retainers or anything like that. If that's something you'd be interested in, head on over to www.realestatedealaccelerator.com where I put a training video together. It's the formula on how you can grow your business without these guys and competing against these guys. So if that's something you're interested in, head on over to that website and check that out. And if you're interested in more content like this, make sure to check out one of these videos I'm going to put on the screen right now and consider subscribing to this channel. I'll see you in the next video. Boom.